A very good afternoon to you from Blackpool, where it's the penultimate day of the Waterloo Handicap, the last 16 of the men's competition. We've seen 4 matches this morning, 2 of them quite exceptional, and we have 4 more this afternoon. But we've also been paying attention to the ladies too. Yesterday we saw the first ladies semi-final, Barbara Rawcliffe against Karen Galvin, and surprisingly Karen Galvin lost 21-15. And so this afternoon we have the second ladies semi-final. That's Anne O'Loughlin, and she'll be playing Karen Brown. The 2 players involved: Anne O'Loughlin, 37 years old, from the Handsworth Club in Birmingham, and her opponent Carol Brown from Manchester, 41 years old, a player with the Albert Club. They're the 2 ladies. It's the 5th end. O'Loughlin leads 9-8, and it's Carol Brown to play.
Brown now sets the mark right across the green again. Still looking for this mark across the middle. Certainly got her through to the semi-final. She's doing the trip this time, not on the road. She's left Anne O'Loughlin a field to get in here. Certainly go past the jack, but it can't go out. It's a good ball. Yes. Now Carol Brown, crowd already condemning this ball. They want to get it down the hill. She's trying to get it there, but it's give up, short. Good ball. 2 to Anne O'Loughlin, this young lady from Birmingham, 37 years of age.
Anne O'Loughlin, 11-8.
Sure, her husband, I don't know whether he can beat her at balls, Eamon. He's 36 with the 3 children, no doubt interested in her progress, of Elizabeth, Sean and Thomas. Again short. Each time they've made a short lead, Richard. They're not making the front ball do the work. As in the other semi-final, Rawcliffe really motored to the jack, didn't she? She gave Karen Galvin a lot to do, but here, a little bit pensive. They're not playing up to the jack. Found one this time. County. Carol Brown now. Got to get in.
Well, there was certainly plenty of room for Carol Brown to take that end. The bowlers examine the positions, and she has to concede that Anne O'Loughlin counts a double.
Done it. Well, you need a few of them sort of things to happen to you if you're going to win any big events. That was a real good rub there for Carol Brown. She's certainly gone through and out. Gets a full contact Certainly played up to the end, but just drifted into the bottom and gone by. Carol Brown got to cash in now on this. Bit of a fortunate rub there, but it's all in the game. Played another if you can go. Two great balls there.
Carol Brown, 10, and O'Loughlin, 13.
Now then, Richard, are we going to get a bit of a fight back here from Carol Brown? Just twirl round a bit there. She got a nice little rub and then didn't mess about, cashed in with the other one. That's what wins your matches at bowls, them twos. Keep putting the twos on. Played one. Good in this. Anne O'Loughlin has got something to do here. So they've got to come down the hill. The crowd murmuring a little bit here. Oh, she's rubbed it the wrong way. It's Carol Brown again. Very determined looking girl, isn't she, Carol? She's certainly must be thinking about the coppers here, Richard. She follows those balls so intently. And O'Loughlin got to be up to it. Oh!
Certainly wasn't a very good end for Anne O'Loughlin, that one. I mean, she was making her own problems, really. And it's 2 to Carol Brown.
Well, you need a few rubs, and there's Carol Brown taking her time. She had a good look round the green, making her mind up what to do. She's back over this middle again. I think she's determined to make a good lead across here, Richard. She's had a few goes at it and spread them out a bit, but now she's had just a couple of good rubs and played some good balls, and she's back in the match now. Again, she's led short. Very disappointed there, Carol Brown. Looking for a good lead. Can't lose. Just come taxiing into the picture there and almost a dead length. Chance this. Chance. Goes in the frame. Carol's smiling. The referee's there just to confirm it. It's definitely won it. See, through a bad lead there, Richard. She had to, you know, do all the hard graft at the end with the second ball. Now, can she rub it? No, it's gone out.
One to Carol Brown will even the game up. There's the score.
Well, it's 13 apiece, Richard, so one of them's got to be unlucky, haven't they? But this, she's come back very well, this Carol Brown. It looked as though Anne O'Loughlin might just be going away from her, but she's now very much back in this game. Got some applause, that ball, but I think Carol would have liked it a little bit nearer. It looks close, but it's maybe 2 feet or more away from the jack. But now Anne O'Loughlin has played a really short ball. Comes on well short, but it counts. There's the young lady from Yardley in Birmingham. And O'Loughlin has got to get past this ball and run again, and it might go in the frame. There's it's won it. Good ball. Looks as though we're going for a trip in the country here, Richard. He doesn't fancy going back across that middle again with which is Carol Brown's favourite territory. Looking to play some decent balls. Oh, there's a good shot there, isn't it? That's the dogs. I never go to the dogs these days. They nearly skimped me at one time, but that's a beauty, isn't it?
Carol Brown to deliver the last wood at this end. From her point of view, it's winnable, although Anna Loughlin's counting 2 at the moment.
Carol Brown now got 2 to beat. Funny balls these, Richard. They're almost dead level, so although they look a bit away, she's got to find one here, and she's driving through. It's gone by. Seems no doubt about Anne O'Loughlin having 2 here, but I think Carol Brown might have a quick look at these.
16, Carol Brown 13.
Conceded.
Anna Loughlin's survived a comeback by Carol Brown to then reconsolidate a position. 16-13 in front of Loughline. Playing over a distance. And a wayward lead.
Certainly spread them out with the jack. They've played some wonderful balls when the others have been close to the jack. Maybe a little bit of tension here, Richard. Everybody does it. One there, played just over a length. Counts. Chances if it stops. Listen to the applause. It's gone a long way. I think the referee might have to come and have a look at them, and there she is. The referee immediately signals that Anne O'Loughlin lies on.
Brown, full of determination, but she's going to concede surely another one to Anna Loughline. There it is.
There's a section of the ladies. Balls. No doubt they like the men, Richard. They all think they're champions. Sat around the green. Everybody does it at this game. They're certainly very attentive and critical in a constructive way, you know. Certainly play the game very well indeed.
Oh, that's a good one. A good lead.
Cracking lead, that. Only come about 55 yards. Here's Anne O'Loughlin now taking a commanding lead of 4 chalks. Only wants 4 more chalks for victory. 21. A place in the final. Carol Brown, sales manager from the Albert Club in Manchester. It's played up on the bottom side. It's gone through.
Anne O'Loughlin, 18, 13.
I think it's great, Richard, to see the way these ladies have varied the game. You know, this Anne O'Loughlin, she's not bothered about going a long way. Got a nice, easy delivery, and Carol Brown's played so well across the green. You know, the delivery's nothing wrong at all. Beautiful. Get them out nice and easy. Beautiful road, that ball. Straight through the gap, down the hill and out. Here's Anne O'Loughlin walking towards the end in yellow, and she lies a double. Might be a row on here. They can pick the short ball up with a rub. Oh, God, it just went through the gap.
Well, she looks disconsolate, Carol Brown. Certainly it's a double to Anne O'Loughlin. She's already signalled to the scorers.
Anne O'Loughlin, 20. Carol Brown, 13.
One more now for Anne O'Loughlin. Will take her into the final of the Ladies Waterloo against Barbara Rawcliffe.
Yeah, some good supporters there of Paul's dressed ladies. Seem to be thoroughly enjoying the contest. Played one roundabout. It's a long way, a good ball that. It's only about 2 foot past the jack. Here's Carol Brown fighting on the beaches now, Carol. She's got to find some good balls from somewhere. Certainly short. This young Birmingham housewife, Anne O'Loughlin, lies game. And played another one roundabout. Carol Brown now in red, trying to save the match. On its way. Certainly far enough. Doing the trip, this. Got out, weighed in. There's some of the Birmingham fans. Delighted that this Anne O'Loughlin has gone through into the final, beating Carol Brown 21-13.
Just a confirmation of that result. Anne O'Loughlin 21-13 victory over Karen Brown, which means in the final tomorrow Barbara Rawcliffe will play Anne O'Loughlin. You can see that final just prior to the men's Waterloo final tomorrow afternoon. Well, Mike Leach, we've been watching ladies there in their own exclusive competition, but of course they also play in mixed competitions with the men. Are there mixed feelings about that?
Well, I think there certainly are. I think there's a strong body of opinion thinks that ladies' bowls should be confined to ladies' tournaments, and I, for one, am not keen on playing against a lady in a men's competition.
But they play well though, don't they?
They do, there's no doubting that. They put them very near the jack, but it's a slightly different philosophy about the game, and I don't think the two gel too well together.
Jolly good. OK, we'll see the ladies again in action tomorrow afternoon. But
meeting to decide whether to return to work under the agreement accepted by the union's executive yesterday. Some staff are back at work already.
Both management and union leaders are waiting anxiously to see whether workers round the country will accept the return to work formula. There was a big vote to go back at Southampton, following a recommendation by local officials. But no national pattern has yet emerged, with more mass meetings scheduled for this afternoon and tomorrow. It'll take days for the 150 million letters and parcels locked up in the system to be cleared. Local grievances over staff suspended during the dispute could hamper a complete return to work. The Post Office says it's essential that the major sorting offices in Liverpool, London and Manchester go back quickly.
The next news is at 10 to 4.
Good afternoon to you. Well, I certainly got a soaking coming into work a short time ago. And indeed, the worst of the showers are certainly in the more central and southern parts of the country, one or two of them quite heavy. There have been some rumbles of thunder as well. There we are on the radar picture, certainly the heaviest showers in the south. The real heavy ones now south of London, across Kent and Sussex, and moving away steadily southwards in the process. But this is the way things are going to be. Not very many showers over Scotland and Northern Ireland, and most of those should be reasonably light as well, but a fair number further south, and the heaviest ones, as we've just seen, over the Midlands and southern England. But even those should tend to become less frequent and die away as time goes on. A windy afternoon and a jolly cool one as well, and certainly a cool night to follow, a touch of ground frost in places. Showers, though, only near the east coast, and that's all.
Now we return to Blackpool to join Richard Duckenfield at the Waterloo.
Good afternoon again from Blackpool, where 4 players are celebrating in glorious, almost blinding sunshine, having booked their places in tomorrow's final day of the Waterloo Handicap for 1988. This morning's session went like this. They're the winners and the losers. Chris MacDonald, 21-13 against Malcolm Cook. Ingham Gregory, 21-14 against Paul Rucroft. Then a breathtaking game, marvellous bowling from both players. Neville Constantine just coming out on top, 21-17 against John Gurney. And then a remarkable game as well. Vernon Lee, the champion in 1980, was miles in front of Alan Broadhurst, but Broadhurst came back dramatically to win 21-19, which leaves us with 4 games this afternoon. The first one we'll be seeing is Cliff Johnson and Stuart Brown, John Bancroft against Richard Everitt, Glyn Cookson against Harold Horton, and finally Robert Eaton, the beaten finalist last year, against K Armitage. Let's have a look at the 2 players that we'll be seeing first in this afternoon's session. Cliff Johnson from the Midlands in Cannock, aged 37, his club Chadsmore. And his opponent, Stuart Brown, 27-year-old from Rochdale, and he's a member of the Rochdale Club. As we join it, it's the 6th end. It's 7-9, Brown leading, and it's Johnson to play.
With this jack makes a tremendous difference, Snow, doesn't it, on here? Gives you a chance of striking a length.
Well, the main thing is, of course, you're sending the jack exactly where you want to go, where you know, or at least hope you can play a good lead, as in fact has happened in this case.
Bit of a good rub there for...
That was a nice little kiss, that. It's gone round behind the jack.
Oh dear me. What a ball to play. That's brilliant.
Absolute cracker. Many a one would have been firing at those two. But kept his head and played an absolute smoker.
loitering this, a beautiful road. Oh, just short of about 4 foot of running. Very disappointed. Finds the road perfectly, but doesn't send it far enough. Here's the one with the milk in it. Won it. Left it again. Two bad balls there from Brown. He chose the mark, Noel, didn't he?
Certainly did. Well, sometimes you stand on that mat and you get a mental block. Easy 2 for Cliff Johnson there. And the Chadsmore Progressive Club.
Yeah, happy little club that. You remember the auction we did down there for charity a few years ago, no? We managed to flog a few things, didn't we?
That's right, yeah.
It was at Chadsmore Progressive. Nice club.
Lots of good players around there.
This lad's done him proud. He's got this far and has every chance of making it into the quarter-finals.
Bending round off the crown. Just a length, a couple of feet wide.
Doing the trip. On round the back and out. Now Johnson, he's looking to pinch a few chalks on this mark. Finger peg mark just down the middle of the green. Played a good ball this time. So he's one that's very handy and one just lying at the back a good second. Nearly done another here, Brown. Nearly played another winner here for me. What a great ball. That's the second time he's done that down there. Done it again. Produced an absolutely miracle ball the end previous. Played a ball about half an inch off the jack. Leads into the corner. Doesn't reach. Won it. Already condemning this ball as short. Can he do the trip? Just give up. Well, no, every time he's led this jack, hasn't he? Just doesn't seem to have the confidence to really wallop the ball out and give it a chance.
Yeah, the last couple of times he's led badly and not really improved with his second ball. Cliff Johnson should couple up here.
Well, 2 off the Christmas tree there. For Johnson, he only had to send them.
They actually seem to be playing into each other's hands here. Cliff Johnson again has gone on about a 30-yard mark, round peg. off the crown. The last couple of times he's done that, Stewart's come in and played a very good ball.
They've certainly spread these two. Kick to the right now, pegged down the hill, and again just crept in this fair ball, just about a foot short of the jack. Now Brown got to do it again, but I think he's a bit tight this time. He's hooking round a bit now to some tune. Can go out.
His first ball, I think, stuck wide, and really that was because he was overplayed. He's tried to, what he thought was correct the line with his second ball, take a yard out, and then ended up pegging narrow.
And perhaps the corners have frightened these two a little bit. No, they both had a go at him and come out now, looking perhaps for somewhere where they can have a bit more control over the balls. Just shorten the mark down a little bit now, and right down the middle of the green. Played a good ball.
No, they've been consistent in really on the longer lengths.
Generous applause. Another good ball there from Brown. Gone. Get a real round of applause if he couples up here. Oh, left it alone. Fair lead. Spread 1 or 2 leading this lad, but I think it's just tightening up a little bit now, Noel. Do you think perhaps we're coming down a bit shorter in length?
I think if either of these two get to grips and start leading well, they should build a lead that could take them through into the quarter-finals.
Did it good.
Yeah, certainly needed that. It was racing a bit.
Oh, he'd have gone certain. He'd have gone down the hill, but it's made another. That's when those sort of rubs, you know, really pay off. It's when they make the other one, and the crowd are already tipping this ball too far.
That gentleman that was just in focus there is 93 years old and shops at John Bancroft's stall in the market there. John says he eats like a horse. He ought to be having heart attacks with the amount of cheese and everything that he eats, he says.
Yes, it's Sam Horton, his name.
Just a few months ago had a new hip fitted.
That's it. So he's done well to get here, and he's been playing balls a long time. Very well-known player in the bowling world, Sammy, particularly in the parks, British parks set up, and he's looking well off Bancroft's cheese anyway, no.
Just for John's sake, I hope the cheese makes him smile.
backward place balls are in front, and there's Stuart Brown in blue, and his opponent here now, Cliff Johnson from Cannock. Just 2 in arrears. Heading on the run in towards home here. It's 21 up. Have to be getting on the scorecard again. Misses the balls, it's a chance. This stuck out a bit wide. Now then, a look at these two. The man in red gets the chalk. Just sneaked up on the post there.
Apart from the early lead that Stuart built up of 9-5, after that there's never been more than 2 chalks in it. Very tight game.
Turned away from that, Cliff Johnson. I think he could have done with that ball running about another couple of feet. A little bit of room to work in. Although it looks on top of the jack here, it's not really not that near, and there's one here that's gone in.
Certainly trying all sorts of marks. This is a thumb peg mark this time off the crown. Thumb to the right hander, of course, finger to the left hander.
Glad to see that one go in, Johnson. Won it, good ball. Played far enough on the bottom and gone through.
Again, trying something different here, Harry. This time a straight peg mark across the centre of the green.
Stuart Brown on his way back, picks up his second ball. Could well be counting with the ball he's just sent. Johnson a little bit short of the jack, and certainly not sent this one far enough. There's Johnson, 20 times, the Staffordshire County side.
I'm just thinking about it here. All important where you place the jack.
Getting a bit close now, Noel, isn't it, to the finish of 6:21 up. It's 16-14 now. The pressure's coming on to both players because they realise that there's not a lot more chalks to play with. First man to 21 gets out. Goes into the last 8, the final day. Brown again made a bad lead. Johnson very gratefully stepping in. Got to do it again. The crowd have picked this up. They're wondering whether it'll run far enough. They don't think so. It's 1-0. There's all the tipsters, every one of them dead right. They go out, let him off.
As I said earlier, I think if somebody can produce a good lead, they'll get up.
Yeah, they both try to string just a few chalks together, like to break away. But this match is going nip and tuck all the way through. It's has the looks of another photo finish job at the end here, because that's not a good lead.
Nobody's actually won more than 2 ends on. More than 2 consecutive ends since the early part of the game.
Good ball that from Brown. Just got inside that ball on the left there and pegged towards the jack. Swing to the right, down the hill now. Coming off the crown. Wants a bit of pace, could win it if it runs. Bit of a faint clap there. I don't know whether they were quite sure either whether it's gone far enough, but Terry Ashcroft, the referee, quickly in there to tell them that the man in red has the winner. Done it. Oh, I think he's been watching Neville Constantine. Is the man that can chip them out and make a couple out of it. Good ball that really from Brown.
One good lead here could seal Cliff Johnson's fate. Fairly straight mark this, but
got it a little bit nearer than normal, but he's been never really past the jack with these long leads. In a fairly long mark here, 40 yards or more. But he's let him off, got off the hook. Now he's a chance to improve. Johnson must be kicking himself for not passing that short ball.
So he looks further, Harry. It's not so bad.
Nice handy collision that. A bit fortunate there because it could have gone down and slipped away in the bottom a little bit. No.
Difficult balls to beat though if he's a bit on the top side.
Well, they look very awkward in the lie, but I think there may be a chance that the man in blue might, well, get the maximum out of this end, but Johnson's signalled that he wants the measurement on.
I think he's probably fortunate that he actually hit that short ball because he was certainly flying a bit.
It's Eric Garth and Peter Lawrenson doing the tape job.
Only one. Brown, one.
Brown, if he ever wants a good lead, now's the time to find one. He really needs a good lead here. He's led short most of the time. Again, gone a fairly long way.
Well, what they say, the pundits, that if you're consistently playing them a yard short, try sending one a yard past the jack and you'll end up right next to it.
Well, that's a fair lead. Looks almost on top of the jack, but in fact it's a good yard short. He's here on a good road. Pick it up clean, good ball. Very good ball. Just got inside that short ball beautifully there and run the jack about 10 inches. The crowd have already given this the thumbs down. They know he's not far enough. If Brown loses this game, it's only because of his inability to lead when he's had the jack.
You know how you're running up behind your ball sometimes across this green and the crowd's condemning it as short or too far. Your heart drops.
Yes, because you hear the dreaded ooh-ah from the crowd, which knows that they're right, and you very likely played a no ball.
That's right.
I can understand you know that, don't you? Because you've not played a million, but you've played 1 or 2 when you didn't want to play them, haven't you? Who hasn't at bowls?
That's right, yeah.
Flying. Well, he does the Brown job in reverse. Brown plays them short and this lad plays them too far.
Well, it has been a feature, possibly a bad feature of this game, that nobody really has led well to the jack.
Found one now. Good job he found that ball, because the man in blue already had one on. He only wants 2 for game. He's played a short ball. Cliff Johnson now goes on to 18. Johnston. Just died. Lovely road. Only a couple of rolls in it would have been in. And Johnston will have to be very careful. He doesn't want to crack that ball.
You can just couple up here. The pressure will really be on Stuart Brown. Have a job to pass those, Harry.
I think he's tight. I think he's tight and he's short. There's all sorts wrong with this. And Johnston now gets a double. He just needs 1 for victory. Well, good comeback here by Cliff Johnson. Staffordshire man. And now he's leading for game. His opponent, Stuart Brown from Rochdale, 19.
Could both win
this too far. It's got a bit of coal on, but it's gone round and past the jack. Luke's a dead length from there, but he's a little bit overplayed. Gone. And Brown's on a Lovely road there. Stop to length had been a real ball, a yard out. Johnson a chance at putting another really good ball in, and he's played one this time. Just nicely round the back. Good ball that.
Well, the last couple of times they've played this particular mark, Stewart's come with an absolute belting ball. Can he do it again?
It's gone out. Round the back and gone, and left Cliff Johnson game beating Stuart Brown and Rochdale 21-19.
A couple of close games, Cliff, 21-19 and the one before that 20-20. I mean, is that a case of you struggling a little bit, or the people playing very well against you?
I think I'm struggling just a little. I didn't play particularly well today, but managed to get through. I think if you're going to do well in tournaments of this type, you need to get over a bad game. And I'm just thankful that I managed to get through the game.
So you've not really been satisfied with your own form so far?
No, no. I've played the first 4 rounds, I played a decent length on the green and played pretty well. But since I've come up in these last 2 games, I seem not to be able to find the length on the green. As you saw, the last game I resorted to quite short marks, which fortunately paid off.
How confident are you that that will come right tomorrow, which is the important thing, isn't it?
Well, it's 2 chances. It's either it will or it won't. And I've played the game long enough to know that you're only as good as your next game, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Now, although you're from down in Staffordshire, from Cannock, I mean, you're fairly familiar with this green, aren't you? Can you tell us a little about that?
Yes, I've been coming here for about the last 10 years. The best I've done apart from this year is I got to the last 64 one year. But I know a fair amount about the green. The green doesn't particularly worry me.
Do you like it? I mean, do you like the atmosphere? Do you like the place?
Yes, I like the atmosphere. I play handicap bowls in the main in the south, well, the Midlands, but venture up into the north as time allows. The atmosphere in the north is a little bit more commercial than in the south.
A little bit more raucous as well sometimes, is it?
Yeah, but that's all good for the game. That's what the people come to pay to see. It's very enjoyable.
No doubt you'll have cast your eye down your end of the draw, as it were. I mean, there's some strong players there. Who would you ideally like to avoid? Well, you can't avoid because you've got to play the winner of Bancroft and Everitt at one point.
I watched 2 games this morning. Vernon being licked by Alan Broadhurst and Neville Considine. Neville Considine was superb this morning. But looking at the draw, if I'm fortunate enough to go a long way, then I missed those 2 until the final round.
You'll take who you get.
Sorry?
You'll take who you get, will you?
Well, no choice.
Thanks, Cliff. Good luck.
Pleasure.
So, another very close match for Cliff Johnson, but it takes him into the final day of the Waterloo 1988, and he's not the only man who'll be flying the flag for the Midlands this afternoon. Mike, Cliff was saying that he wasn't really happy with his form, and you were watching him. What do you think?
Well, I certainly don't think he's playing at his best, but that's one of the great arts of the game, of course, to win these games, scrape through, when you're not at your best, and that's what he's done now twice. So if he comes to form, he must think he's got a very good chance.
Yeah, do you think that he really can change his form that much between now and tomorrow, which is, you know, a short space of time?
But I don't think there's anything he can do to change his form. I think if it changes, it changes, but form's a very transient thing. You can be on form one day and off the next, and vice versa.
Much money for Cliff, do you think?
I think the bookies will be very happy if he loses, because there's been a lot of talk of big stakes being bandied around on Cliff. And he'd lose the bookies several £1,000s at the moment.
So he'd need to improve, really. Well, the next match we have on this afternoon, John Bancroft, who reached the last 8 in 1986, and he'll be playing Richard Everitt, a young man, 20 years old, also from Cannock, and he is a junior Waterloo champion. These are the men: John Bancroft, Matley, 25 years old, North's Hyde Club, and his opponent, Richard Everitt, from Cannock, 20 years old, the M&B Hilton Club. Let's join it then at the 5th end. Bancroft leads 9-7, and it's Bancroft to play.
Certainly all the prospects of being a really high-class game of bowls. Bancroft now playing them a little bit near. Good lead. This lad's a very, very good player, Everitt, despite his Youthful appearance, perhaps, at 20 years of age, only just gone. But he's had a lot of training. His father, Jackie Everett, who was a former Waterloo champion, and his son are very close together as far as the bowls setup is concerned. Gets another. Two back. Two more to Bancroft.
John Bancroft just opened up a bit of a gap as a result of the last two ends. Seems to have settled down just a shade better than Richard Everitt at the moment.
Well, that's worth a round of applause. Just drifted about 18 inches past the jack. Looks a little bit nearer, but it's gone down the hill a little bit. This looks a useful ball to me. I think this is going in the frame. Excellent. The winner.
Very difficult bowl, but John's after it. He obviously likes it. He's played it with some pace. He's very near. He's done it. Has he hit it far enough?
Still on. Unlucky collision as far as Bancroft was concerned, but I think Everett's quite happy that he stands one. But it was a well-played ball there from Bancroft, far enough into the end. Got a clean break there. He might have left himself with two very handy balls, but Everitt gets one out of it.
Well, no change in tactics from Richard. Coming this long thumb peg to the bottom side of the corner. He did count here last time he came, but John Bancroft played two excellent woods not to count.
Doing the trip, misses the jack, it goes a fair way. It's gone drifting on down now, maybe 2.5, nearly 3 yards past the jack. Here's the winner. No doubt. Be a bit adjacent this when it stops. About 18 inches, almost a dead length.
No question about it. John Bancroft leading a lot better than Richard at the moment.
Trouble.
Richard giving himself a chance
Trouble.
here.
Might find the gap. Oh, it's gone on the bottom, just dropped a little bit. It's gone out. Certainly far enough. Certainly far enough. Looks like a brace. Great balls.
Yeah, something of a tactical error, I think, there by Richard to come back on a mark where, although he'd counted before, John Bancroft had played well. I think that was the time for Richard just to change the length completely to try and break John's length. As it is, of course, he's going right back where he's just played from. John Bancroft getting every wood on the land now, playing really well. Perfect line.
It only just recalls what a funny old game this is, really. Because a Bancroft's match with Eric Atkinson, you know, he's lucky to be in circulation, John, in a way, isn't he? And all of a sudden now he's showing the crowd what they would have missed if Eric Atkinson would have seen him off, and he almost did.
Well, the old motto is that before you win any big handicap, and this one in particular, you have to get out of jail at least once. And John certainly did in the last round. But he's not the only one. There's a few people left in this competition that we've seen get out of jail. Well, he missed by some distance there with his strike, Richard. I don't think it was necessarily wrong to strike, because if he'd hit one of John's bowls, they'd probably both have gone.
But Bancroft's playing good stuff now. He's got a length. He's playing those long breaking corner mark. He's just shortened it down a little bit here. But he's giving young Richard Everitt a lot to do. Very little room to work in. Just give him a little bit this time.
Yes, just changed the length of the jack and just deceived himself slightly. And now he's certainly fooled Richard as well. They've both played 4.5 feet past. Is it going to reach? That's the question. Will it reach?
Short. Just died. The lovely road. But I think he knew then, Richard, when he got within about 2 foot of that ball, he hesitated. He had an idea it was running out of gas fast.
Now gone 16-8 down. A long deficit to catch up. Another good lead here from John, just pegging round now to the block. Played one last end, 6 inches the other side. Now he's played one this side.
Oh, a prize winner! Still back. They lay a little bit funny, those balls, and absolutely certain that Everitt's got the verdict.
Just like this one.
It's gone against him. When you're at the back, that's the way it goes. Everitt was certain he'd played a winner there. It was a wonderful ball. Tittled the jack, but the ball then decided to have a feint, fell over, and I think it's now second. Here's Banjo having a look at the end. Certainly doesn't want to lose the jack at this stage.
I don't think he's at all certain who's in. Terry Ashcroft, when signalling to John's bowl, did indicate that he liked it. He didn't give a definite decision, and John's obviously not so certain himself.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of those things. He just likes it. He's not madly in love with it. Like, it's just a passing affection. He doesn't want to give you any duff information, does he, really? Because, you know, bowlers get a bit upset, like, when they find out the measure goes against what the referee fancies.
Well, John's certainly played a bowl that indicates that he agrees with the referee. And Richard, of course, has a definite bowl to play, must play through. If he takes John's wood out, he makes 2 certain, but he's underneath. He's just going to miss it.
Oh, that was really a good ball, because, I mean, it's only missed by a shave, and Richard isn't happy either. I think the second favourite's here on the measure. He may well, he's given him the end. He's given him the chalk. It's not even called for the photograph at all.
Another good lead here. It'll only go 18 inches past the jack. Hard wood to beat at the best of times, never mind when you're 17-8 down. Richard giving it a chance if he reaches. Just going to give up again.
Yeah, tired. Yeah, dashing after that like a warhorse there, young Everitt, but he's packing up.
John here changed his peg. This is another very confident bowl. That's an excellent ball. Changed his peg to avoid disturbing Richard's short ball and played a marvellous wood. He's really playing with bags of confidence. He's shown Richard the way in, though, that peg. This is a good effort.
Can't win. He's going to leave a double, I think, here. Not had much luck, really, in the game, the way the balls have stopped. He's played some good balls, but they've fell wrong.
Yes, I think his mistake, it was 8-11, his jack, and he brought John into this corner again. That was the time, I think, when he should have changed his tactics, and he's not scored since.
Bancroft's played some magnificent stuff, Mike, hasn't he? You know, he's playing with bags of confidence, but he's really put balls down and played a bit round the jack.
Well, these last 3 leads on the mark he's playing now, there hasn't been one more than 6 inches off the block. Now he's playing for game. He'll want this either 2 foot short or 2 foot past the jack. He won't want to make it a big target because Richard has a bowl to play. That's a brilliant bowl. Richard has to play through, playing for the jack, hoping to pick the jack up underneath. Game's over.
Laid in that Bancroft, giving a magnificent display of bowling there. Young Richard Everitt not getting much luck, but at the end it's John Bancroft who absolutely streaks away to win 21-8 against Richard Everitt from Cannock.
A very wide margin, John, 21-8. Have you got over the rather torrid time you had in the previous match against Atkinson?
Oh yeah, I played very poorly yesterday. I just managed to scrape together the last 3 ends, some good bowls, and was the opposite way today. I just managed to keep leading well, which is important on here, especially when it's only 16 up 5 on the card. If you can get away to a good start, that's the important thing.
Apart from leading well on a few occasions, what's made the difference, you think? What's brought you on?
I don't know really. I think yesterday I was very tense really. I sort of had all the pressures of the crowd on me and being favourite, and sort of I played so bad yesterday. I think they've making Glyn favourite now. I don't blame them either. And I think really you just got used to the atmosphere. That one more game, and the green is running just a bit quicker today, which suits my game a little bit more.
Yeah, we've said a lot about the conditions because the green has had a tremendous amount of water in the past couple of days. It didn't seem to affect people too badly this morning, did it?
No, it didn't really. There's been some fantastic games today. I mean, Alan Broder's coming back against Vernon Lee, and that was sticking in my mind all through my game really, because I was seeing how Alan came back. I thought, I'm not going to let that happen to me, hopefully. So I just kept my head down. And the more the sun keeps shining, the easier it is for the better players to play good balls. The more the sun shines, the closer the balls will go to the jack.
Of course, at Alan Broadhurst, as you say, that was a remarkable recovery. I think a lot of people in the crowd will now be quite fancying him, won't they?
In that top half, yeah, Alan's looking quite strong now. But again, there's 1 or 2 good players in there. It's quite open, but I would think Alan's probably the favourite to get through in the top half.
Most immediately, you've got to play Cliff Johnson. Now, what about that one?
I've never played Cliff before, so that'll be a new thing for both of us. We should have a good game. I hope it stays fine, and that's more conducive to good bowling as well. And just hope I can get away to a good start and keep leading like I've done today.
Right, John, we'll see. Thank you.
Thank you.
But you have to feel for Richard Everitt, the young man with high hopes, though really blown off the green there. 21-8 he lost. Noel, I think he really failed to do himself justice, didn't he, young Everitt?
Yeah, I don't think he should lose too much sleep about it, though. He didn't play that badly. It's just that John played very, very well, very consistently.
John's obviously got his form back. I mean, he seemed to think that he wasn't quite at his best form prior to that game.
Well, it's a funny old competition, this. I mean, yesterday he was losing 20-16 and won 21-20. And then today he runs away with this game.
What do you think? They were speculating on the favourites. I mean, John was saying that he was once the favourite. He thinks now maybe Glyn Cookson's the favourite. Which would you take?
Personally, without the money taking any effect in it, I would just fancy John.
Why?
I just feel that he's got the flair for this big occasion. Even though Glyn is a very good player and gets this far regularly, John's just got that edge, I think.
Well, there are the results so far, the first 2 matches of the afternoon. The games to come, Glyn Cookson against Harold Horton, 75 years old, and then Robert Eaton, the beaten finalist in last year's Waterloo Handicap, and he'll be playing K Armitage. So, there is plenty to look forward to still here from the Waterloo in Blackpool. You leave us now for Laurie Merry in London, who has the news. Join us again shortly.
The main stories. The Cuban embassy have said that the diplomat who fired a gun in London yesterday had been threatened by an agent of the American CIA. The Foreign Office have expelled both the diplomat and the Cuban ambassador.
A vigil outside the ambassador's official residence was maintained all morning by reporters and photographers. Finally, soon after midday, Dr. Oscar Fernandez-Mel emerged in the back seat of an embassy car, waving to the cameras but making no statement. The ambassador was on his way to Heathrow, with his wife and teenage son in the vehicle behind. But first, he was driven to the Cuban embassy. There, the commercial attaché, Medina Perez, the official accused of firing a gun in central London yesterday, was brought to the Mercedes and placed beside the ambassador for the journey to the airport. Later, the Cuban embassy alleged that an agent of the American CIA had threatened the junior diplomat.
He's working for the CIA, of course, and he menaced yesterday our functionary Medina Perez, and Medina Perez acted in self-defense.
Hurricane Gilbert has just struck the Cayman Islands a day after devastating Jamaica. Torrential rain and winds of up to 140 miles an hour severed communications.
The government of the British dependency set up emergency centres and flew hundreds of tourists to the safety of Miami yesterday. Gilbert is the biggest hurricane seen in the Caribbean for 8 years. It has already devastated Jamaica with widespread flooding, particularly in the east of the island. Howling winds tore down houses, ripped off roofs, uprooted trees and sent tourists scurrying inland. Hundreds are reported to be homeless.
Police in Londonderry, who've uncovered a cache of arms, including a bomb containing Semtex explosives, mortar bombs and a rocket-propelled grenade, say that it's one of the largest and most deadly arsenals found in the city. Today's special session of the Anglo-Irish Conference has ended with both governments saying they're united in the fight against terrorism. New security measures for the border were top of the agenda.
Security was thrown into even sharper relief when Mr. King met Brian Lenihan, the Irish Foreign Affairs Minister, by yesterday's bombing at the home of the head of the Northern Ireland Civil Service and by last night's explosion in Belfast. But afterwards, Mr. King denied that terrorists had set the conference agenda.
I mean, if that were to be the case, then it would be the most appalling blow to civilization and the rule of law and the freedom of individuals that one could imagine. And
as Mr. King left, a small group of demonstrators showed their disapproval of one aspect of Anglo-Irish cooperation, the extradition of terrorists from south to north, security cooperation which Mr. King will want to extend.
The next news is the 6 o'clock news on BBC One with Nicholas Witchell and Philip Hayton.
Good afternoon to you. I think they've been very lucky at Blackpool this afternoon at the bowling. There certainly have been a fair number of showers around, but as we can see on the radar picture, they're certainly heaviest and most frequent across the Midlands, East Anglia and into southern parts of England. And that's probably the way it's going to remain, although there will be some showers scattered about in other parts. But over Northern Ireland and Scotland, the showers reasonably few and far between, and most of those that do come along should be fairly light. But further south, the odd heavy one could crop up with hail and thunder as well. But by this evening, the worst of the showers should be over, many places becoming dry. Now, a pretty chilly afternoon and indeed a chilly night to follow, quite breezy as well. And tonight, with skies clearing, except near to the east coast where further showers are likely, it will end up a jolly cold night. In fact, there could be a touch of ground frost in one or two areas.
Now on BBC Two News Northwest. Good afternoon. It looks as though the postal strike in the Northwest is over. At a meeting in Manchester, representatives from the Union of Communication Workers throughout the region voted unanimously to seek negotiations with local management to end the dispute. Meetings will take place from this afternoon, and it's hoped employers will be back at work on Thursday morning. The union's Northwest Regional Secretary, Tex Tobin, said he could foresee no major problems. A man is due to appear before magistrates in Trafford, Greater Manchester, charged with the murder of Manchester prostitute Sandra Pohatka. The mother of two was shot dead 10 days ago in Whalley Range, a suburb of the city. She was found to be dead on arrival at Manchester Royal Infirmary. A seventh man charged in connection with the £42 million collapse of the Isle of Man Savings and Investment Bank has appeared in court at Douglas. Stanley Graffam, a 68-year-old retired company director of Romford, Essex, faced one charge of conspiring to defraud depositors in the bank. He's been remanded on bail of £1,000 until October the 11th. Cheshire's crime detection rate went up to 50% in July this year, an increase of 9% over the same month in 1987. The county's chief constable, Mr David Graham, announced the increase at a police committee meeting. He said an extra 80 police, some of them formed into special squads to target problem areas, plus help from the public, had increased the detection rate. The rock entrepreneur Jean-Michel Jarre could be bringing his band Laser Spectacular to Merseyside. His concert in London's Docklands was called off after being refused a licence by a local council. Now the Merseyside Tourism Board have contacted Jarre's agent in London to see if the show, planned for a week on Saturday, can be switched to Liverpool. Talks on the proposal are continuing. Volunteers from the Cumbria Trust for Nature Conservation are running a race against time to save rare meadow plants from the path of a bulldozer. 15 acres of grassland are being cleared by British Coal on an open cast site near Workington, putting more than 200 species of herbs and flowers at risk. The volunteers will only be able to move half an acre of turf, but British Coal have promised to save the topsoil from the rest. The Manchester United and Republic of Ireland defender, Paul McGrath, is expected to sign for Tottenham Hotspur this afternoon. The clubs have agreed a fee of around £750,000. McGrath, who's 28, joined United 6 years ago. Well, that's our news. On now to look at the region's weather forecast. There'll be sunny spells this afternoon, but a few showers are likely, especially over coasts and hills exposed to the fresh or strong northerly breeze. It'll feel cool again, with temperatures only reaching 15 degrees Celsius. The evening will be generally dry, but it'll become quite chilly, with temperatures falling sharply after dusk. Well, that's it for now, but we'll be back on BBC One at 6:35 with a full roundup of the day's regional news and events, plus, of course, being a Tuesday, Mr Stuart Hall's Postbag this week, featuring a special phone-in, so join us for that.
On BBC One, Andy Crane's locked up in the broom cupboard for Children's BBC. Here on 2, we rejoin our outside broadcast team and Richard Duckenfield at the Waterloo.
Yes, thank you. We've enjoyed some marvellous sunshine here at the Waterloo in Blackpool today, and some marvellous bowling to go with it. 6 matches of the last 8 have been played and decided. This is what the picture looks like now. There are the results. 21-13, MacDonald won over Cook. 21-14, Gregory beat Rucroft. Neville Constantine, a marvellous victor, 21-17 over John Gurney. Controversial game, really. Alan Broadhurst beat Vernon Lee 21-19. The 2 games of the afternoon, Cliff Johnson 21-19, another close match. Victory over Stuart Brown. And then the last match that we saw, John Bancroft, the widest winning margin, 21-8 against Richard Everitt. And so that takes us to the 7th match of the day. 2 very good bowlers in action here, but 2 very contrasting ones. Here they are, Glyn Cookson, aged 30, from Winsford, a member of the Wharton Club, a very fancied player, and he'll be playing 75-year-old Harold Horton, a man who's nearly as old as the tournament itself. That began in 1907. His club, Marton, he's well used to playing on this Waterloo green. He does it regularly throughout the season. Let's join the game at the 5th end. Cookson is leading 9-6. It's Harold Horton to play.
Harold will come down now to the old business of piling a few charts up on these marks, about 25 to 30 yards. He plays them a bit near. Here's the first one coming up to the jack. It won't be a long way off. Short. Another one coming up. Steady balls, good balls. Cookson will have to dig one out here to win.
He'll change his peg. He'll just peg up, possibly. Just squeeze by.
Oh, it's won it. It had just cocked out the wrong way, but
might be a measuring job, that, hey?
I think that Cookson is second. Why? But it looks a funny angle, but I think Horton's going to pick the jack up. Yes, 1 to Horton. Now this is the mark he did Bob Hitchin on, Noel. You know a little bit about this territory, don't you, going down the hill towards the stand?
It's very easy to be too far, and with the extra pace you'll stick back and not peg to the jack. And again, slightly tight ball, really pegs away viciously. I was willing this one on.
Him out on these short marks. He's doing the business again, this man. 75 years of age, but did a double, almost did a handspring then, Harold, just to loosen up a bit. Now squared the match at 9 apiece. Crowd already sensing that they might see another big turnover here. And one of the big fancied runners goes down. This fella doesn't play far away from the jack, and so let him play on these short marks. Knows he's played short, waved it on. Cookson wondering what to do. I think he might well come and have a survey job on this.
Yeah, that second ball of Howells has stopped in an awkward place for Glenn. Slap bang in the road for the finger peg. Possible Glenn might change his peg here. Come the yard of running, try and take that ball or the jack. Good effort.
Yes, played into the end, but not quite hard enough. Wanted to knock it over yet again. This man Horton, he gives them a load of pain on this mark. He plays them roundabout and close. Makes it, they can't make any real errors, can they, Noel? They play too far and they miss everything. It's out, 2 down.
He's playing those sort of nagging balls that are not quite near enough to try and knock off. But leaving a gap, you can easily go through. And again.
Another one. Very handy. Find a good ball now then. Swoop down to the left. Come on, peg down a little bit more. Know in a minute because the referee's arriving on the scene. Watch his hands.
Just like this.
Now then. Cookson loops on easily from the front, but this side, different story. Horton, strongly fancied here.
Surely must change his peg. Yes, he has done. Coming straight at it.
Fair ball. Plays him. He's pretty good on these marks, isn't he, Alex? As soon as he gets in, he's back along this, the old cabbage patch here. Cookson in a little bit of trouble on this mark.
I think Glenn's just got to try and touch his own short ball, just turn it over.
surely that's a chance. He's rubbed the jack and half cocked towards it. I think that was a cracking ball if it counts. Yes, he's making moves towards picking the jack up, and he had to work hard for that one, Cookson. Had to find one there.
It's been pretty close the last 2 or 3 ends, but Harold's just had that inch advantage each time.
I think Harold's due for another trip round the file coast here. No, not having any more of these 22 and 3 yard short marks, Cookson. He realises he could be in a bit of trouble if he lets Harold Horton get back in too soon. Oh, he's in right away. No messing about. No trouble at all.
Leach was saying
magnificently
earlier.
Now is Harold Horton.
Leach was saying earlier that a lot of people make the mistake of taking Harold in the corners. He can play corners just as well. Satisfied with the one.
Unusual that, Harold. It's not an absolute rambling ball, but he's left Cookson a little bit of room to work in. He steps in immediately. Cookson played a good ball. Upstairs, puck up in the air. It's gone now. Now Cookson got a chance. Stands one, a ball to play. Must be a double. Kicks them in there. Harold Horton concedes the end.
Notice Harold keeps just shaking his right leg slightly. Just wonder if he's got a touch of cramp. Unfortunate there for Harold. Just ran in the back of Lynn's short ball and promoted it to within 3 or 4 inches of the jack.
There, Cookson, he slipped up. Knows he has. He's putting that second ball down very lazy. Man's capable of pulling a winner out at any time. What about this one coming up now? Just missed the jack and got out. good lead. Cookson played a good ball, finger peg mark. Harold Horton's 75-year-old man from Blackpool who's put up a marvellous show. Giving them all a load of pain, and he's not gone by a long way yet because he's in with a winner there. He also plays here at the Waterloo Green, apart from Martin Institute. Crowd wrote this off. They think it's no chance. Smack on the roll, but it's not there. Let him off. Bit unlike Harold, that. Usually takes full advantage of any slip-ups, but he's got one. I think it'll be back on the old 25 yards again here, and a few close balls will be played. Good lead. Short. Shot there, ball coming into the left now, swinging towards the jack. Left it short, it's kicked away. Cookson, they think it's travelling. It's gone away and out.
Perfect bend on that ball there, coming off the crown, but just about a yard too far.
This is the strategy of Harold Horton. You know, he's a good player, very experienced, using his knowledge of the green, and plays them round about. Well, doesn't he make some play? They've got good balls to beat, so the pressure's on them all the time. You can't play any slipshod woods here, else you're going to go out of the competition.
I think if I can fault anything about Glyn's play at the moment is when Harold's played a good ball, Glyn's tended to be just slightly short with his first ball. He could really do with being past the jack. Then he's got something to play for, either ball or jack, to push through to his back ball. Right on it this time.
Short. Cookson, a great chance here to get him for a double. Two good balls for Cookson.
Very cool head on him, Glyn Cookson, especially in situations like this, close game.
Well, the Cookson lads have played at top level now for a good few years, Noel, haven't they? You know, they've been brought up on the pressure bowling of the handicap circuit. They're both very good players, Glyn and Barry.
I think they still get a clip round the ear goal if they don't play well off the dad, you know.
Could well be. He'll have him in front of the committee, Colin. But he follows the career with great interest, and he's never far away. When they get in at the finish, you'll see him. He'll be around here somewhere today.
Yes, in fact, most places that I've seen Glyn playing at, his father's been there.
Now then, Cookson. Bit of relief there in those two. He put them up with some real earnest because he's now opened up a gap, and that eases the worry just a little bit because this man Horton was playing really well.
He's just had a lapse the last two ends.
The great thing to Horton's credit, though, in this match, that he's never appeared to be put out in any way, and all, has he? Wherever he's gone, he's held his horn and played some cracking balls, long, short, or otherwise. And even now, look at this, it's a long, long way, this. And he's nearly beat it. Loss from the crowd, but I think it may have just gone. It looks the nearest. Different picture there, you see the ball just on the top side on the right of the jack. Cookson again, he's played another wayward ball. Can it run down the hill? Told Horton the good news. The back ball, according to Terry Ashcroft, is on. I think he's looking for another one here.
I think he did the right thing there, Harry. It could have been dangerous to be up there. To touch on either of Glyn Cookson's balls. Just a roll of about 9 inches and would have been one to Glyn Cookson.
Well, Horton's in a nice handy spot here because he'll go back on his favourite piece of the Waterloo green. Pick it up. Picked a few chalks up here last time. He's left it on the mat. It's most unusual for him. It looks close, but it's a fair way off the jack. Won it.
You've done it, Harry.
Oh, he's played a real stud one on the jack as usual. Can't play two bad balls on there, Harold Horton. He left the first one a bit short, but mended the second just nice. Done jack clean. Can't lick them sort, can you? Harold realises he's got no more balls left, but Cookson, there's a perfect wood there.
Sign of a class player there, playing the percentage ball.
Now Glyn Cookson, Wharton, Winsford, Wharton Cons. Looking for a double. Take him into the final day of the Waterloo Championships. Second year on the trot. Hits the jack. Smack on the road. Might have gone a fair way missing, but it's a nice, very handy ball now. Can this lad from Martinez to pull another real good ball out here, and listen to the crowd. Good ball, that ball, wasn't it? You know, look at Cookson's lead. He's played a real good ball, Cookson. He's only tapped the jack about 14 inches, and this man, this player from Martin Cons, he's played a real ball there and not counted.
Glyn will be disappointed with his second ball there. He could have done with reaching another couple of feet.
It's back on the road, this ball. I wonder if he's far enough. He's far enough, it's a chance. He's just died. I think Cookson's going to get a single here, unless Harold Horton decides to have the string on them for a measure. Ashcroft has indicated that he really fancies that ball just above, to the right of the jack. Watch him. He may have the measures. Yes, I think he's given it in. That takes Cookson to within one of victory. Shot there of the ball going down should start to pick up a little bit and come across to the right, just a shade on the peg as it stops. Not a silly ball, not a lot over, perhaps a big yard past the jack, but it's a long way. Too low and in the bottom. Finn Cookson now from Cheshire. Lies up, lies two, only wants one for game. Through the gap, it's gone. It's weighed in for Glyn Cookson, who's defeated the 75-year-old veteran Harold Horton from Blackpool, who's put up a remarkable show, played really well, but had to give second to Glyn Cookson. Winsford 21-14.
So Glyn Cookson surely now one of the favourites through there to the quarter-finals, defeating the tournament's senior citizen Harold Horton. I don't know, Mike, Harold was with Glyn for half that game and then he lost him, didn't he?
Yes, although there was just a time towards the end when Harold was coming back. He was 14-17, lay in with one, but Glyn made two off it by a skillfully played wood.
Do you think Harold might have been tiring a bit, or perhaps if he was coming back towards the end, perhaps not?
Well, I don't think in one game he'd be particularly tired, because he doesn't do a lot of running about. He's not like Vernon, but it's the end of a sentimental journey for him. I think he'd have tired if he'd got through to the final day and had 3 games to play.
Cookson so far has had a fairly easy trip, hasn't he?
He's made it look that way. He's played very well. A very difficult game for him today, with all the crowd against him, 3,000 people really willing him to lose. And he had to keep his concentration, and he did very well.
Yes, he did well indeed. So, as I say, Glyn Cookson obviously now one of the favourites. Let's move on now to the final match of the day. There it is on the bottom of the caption. Robert Eaton will play K Armitage. Above it, the results of all 7 matches we've seen so far. I suppose the highlights, the Constantine and Gurney match, and following that, the Lee and Broadhurst match. But the men who will be playing now in this last match of the last 16, Robert Eaton, 25 years old, beaten finalist last year from the Holmes Chapel Club. He's playing K Armitage from Warrington, 49 years old, from the King and Queen Club. It's the 7th end, it's 12-5, Eaton leads, and it's Robert Eaton to bowl.
left a bit of room. That's about the most room he's given Armitage to get in. They're already condemning this ball as being short. It's still running on. It might just sneak in, but no, it's packed up. Second. Down again. Lovely delivery. Strokes it away. Beautiful. There's another one roundabout here. Run away. Run away. It's not going to get here. It's left it on the mat. Now, that's a bad ball. He should have really been through the end. Anything. Nothing for short. And your predictions about the 17 break might not be as far away as you think, Mike.
Well, it's already a 10 break. 14-5. And that's a big break to start the game with. It'll take a lot of catching up. We've seen some remarkable recoveries in the matches so far.
One or two of the previous games have shaken the bookies up. I noticed they've made Bancroft 5-2 favourite after that sparkling display against young Richard Everitt. McDonald's now 4-1.
Yes,
Broadest is 5-2, of course, as well. I mustn't leave him out because after the Vernon Lee and Broadest tussle previously, they've got to make him a short price.
Kenny lies in again. Resting by the jack. Beatable position. He's played through at it. Will he rest the ball or will he just miss? Just missed. I can't see any way Kenny can knock him in this end. The question is, where will Kenny play when he gets in? He's done his best to knock him in.
He tried hard, didn't he, to promote that ball? I think if Canada knocked that one in, he'd have come off. That would have been the end. But we'll see now. Don't forget, he got a few at the back in his previous game, but got out some great bowling.
The question is, will he have the courage to play his natural game, which is 30-35 yards round peg, or will he feel obliged to go a bit further to try and break Rob Eaton's length? He's gone further than he usually plays off his own leads. Not gone for the full corners though, and his lead shows.
Turned away in disgust. Fell out with himself there, Ken. He realised he'd pulled the ball badly across the lie of the land. Eaton steps in gratefully. A ball that looks about 18 inches off the jack, but in fact it's a good yard away.
Big improvement here on Kenny's part. Is it just going to go in? Just trickled up. Rob Eaton asking for information. Needs to know before he bowls. Kenny's wood is indicated as being in by Terry Ashcroft. You can see he's absolutely on the land as it comes towards.
They're a bit awkward, these balls. Kenny Armitage has had a good look at these, but I think it may well have gone out, that ball belonging to Rob Eaton. He's had a good look at them. He's not happy. He's taking the back ball out. Nothing to do with it. They've asked for the string men to come now. Eric Garth and Peter Lawrenson. It's Garth on the right, and Lawrenson, the man with the glasses.
Yes, at the start of this game, the bookies couldn't separate these two players as to who they fancied had the better chance of winning before the game. I think they're each about 12 to 1.
First
a very
ball.
even bet.
Armitage! 1.
Well, Kenny feeling obliged to play that extra 10 yards. Question is whether it affects his own precision leading. Certainly pretty accurate here.
Well, he's come finger peg here down to the mark where he made the big break yesterday. Now, can Eaton find the answer to it? He hasn't done it with that ball. Plays this piece of land very well, Mike, doesn't he? Finger peg, and he just comes about 30 yards. Doesn't want to hit the jack.
I don't believe it. He's nearly done it again. Done his best to leave Eaton in. Anybody's guess whether Armitage has one or Eaton has one, or even Armitage has two. But one, this may well settle it. Well, it's short of the jack. I think they'll look at all these. Ken's picked one up that has no chance. Well, it was a clumsy bowl of Ken's. His second bowl could have cost him the end. He'll be glad he's won. Just getting a run with the jack now. 1 3 ends together.
Likes this mark across the green, diagonal mark, just short of the corners. Won it. Would want to allow this young man from Cheshire too much leeway.
Rob Eaton certainly reached with this. Can't
go
lose.
out. Sneak one there. Left him a little bit of room, Kenny Armitage. Usually plays them a little bit nearer than that on that mark. But I think this lad's really matured a little, Mike, since he got in the final last year. He's playing with a bit more composure. Even last year was a little bit boyish about it all, but he played so well. Everybody forgave him for that, except Duncan in the final. He just, you know, but he had a remarkable tournament last year. And now, looks as though he's going to feature in the final stages yet again.
I think the picture he presents of a lad perhaps with no real killer instinct, but he certainly has it when he's playing. He's such an unassuming young man. Extremely pleasant. And you tend to think that he's not there to win the tournament, but he certainly is.
Well, Armitage. No. A rub in the right direction for Armitage. He's had 1 or 2 knocks that have certainly not gone his way. Some of them, 1 or 2 anyway, at least self-inflicted wounds, but nevertheless, he's played one now and had a bit of good fortune. Chance now of pegging a double.
Got to be careful again, though. A careless bowl here could cost him, and I think he's erred on the side of safety. He's played it well down. He's even managed to knock his own bowl out again, though, even doing that. But he's replaced it with his second, so he still counts 1. He's struggling to count a double, and it'll take him a long time to catch up in ones.
Armitage down. Still 6 chalks at the back. 21 up this game. Rob Eaton on 4, Armitage on 5 to begin with, so Eaton now the back marker. The only back marker left in the sweep. Duncan, the 3-time winner, went out early doors. The first round, a young man called Derek Drakewich from the John Bancroft country. North East Cheshire.
Kenny's up against it now. Has to reach on that ball. It's just going to go over the top. I think he's really going to have to change his game completely and either go full corners or just concentrate on his own normal round pegging 25, 26 yard mark. But he's really leading into Rob Eaton's hands.
Eaton now looking for a double. So got one. Very good ball, that. Cracking second ball. A punishing blow, that. Takes him to 17-9. Armitage must have felt that he'd really opened the gates there. And Eaton's in very smartly indeed for a good double.
An interesting change of tactics. Rob Eaton, I wouldn't have thought he needed to change the tactics particularly. He's doing well enough, but he's decided to come this short round peg down the edge where the spectators stand. The noisiest edge on the green, of course. The edge where you get most abuse if you play bad woods.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with this either.
Just gone down the bottom. It's on the peg, comes down the hill and goes out. A lot of room, but he looks on a nice road again. Don't know what the pace is like. It's coming down the hill now, but it's short. Only one.
Kenny having to think about this. Very undecided as to what to do. Thinking about playing through the other peg. That's what he's gone for.
Oh, very, very near. Still one to eat. There'll be a slight heavy reduction of the Eaton odds if he gets through this heat. Mike, 12-1 at one stage just before this match started. But I think he won't be far off joining the joint favourites. Broadhurst and Bancroft at 5-2 apiece.
So if he wins, of course, it's a very tough match in the last 8. Against Lynn Cookson. But a remarkable achievement if he wins this match. He'll have been in 2 consecutive final days. And there's a lot of good players, can't even get in one.
I'm wondering whether he's in there, Armitage. I know it looks immediately behind the jack. It's stopped in time. Just fortunate enough to get a little rub on that side bull belonging to Eaton. Just check the ball's progress and kept it in.
This is some way off the land. Could see that all the way. Never been on the land from start to finish. Chance here for Kenny to get his first double. But he'll have to reach to do it. He's given up. Or has it? One only. Kenny's decided, maybe too late, it may not, but he's decided that he must go for distance to try and break his young opponent's excellent length. And in the first wood, it's certainly succeeded, because this will go 3 or 4 yards by missing. So the change of length immediately works. The question is, can he put a wood himself good enough to put extra pressure on young Robbie? Better than his first, perfect length.
He could really do with counting these two. He needs these two badly. Already 8 chalks in arrears. This lad's been digging balls out since the start of the match and nearly found another one here. The applause wasn't actually thunderous, but I don't think it's good news for K Armitage. And Terry Ashcroft is fancying that. He's giving it the footsteps to glory. 3 in. And the fingers. 2. No doubt.
Eaton! Well!
Yes. Kenny put his feet in, knew immediately.
As Eaton now, he knows he's only 2 off victory. He's got a few chalks to play with, but that's no guarantee that you're going to go through. This gentleman there that was very well known in bowls, used to keep a pub in Failsworth, the Star, but he now resides in Blackpool. Had very difficult operations. He was well known here, used to come in the big loud suits and the Arab headdress and God knows what else. Len Long is now.
One of the great personalities of bowls, and he's taken over as secretary of the North Lancs and Fylde County Association, and doing a wonderful job.
Great. I think he'd belong out of something, you know. Great work for him. Eaton again. Model of consistency. They had very, very few stray balls in this match. Just died short, trying to play a ball in the road and counting, but it's just failed. But you just got to get at this bowler. Either run the jack or winkle the ball out. Played at it. Dunham. It didn't break really right for him. He wanted the ball clean to count the end, but half a loaf's better than nothing.
Yes, he certainly played the right bowl. Could have been a shade more fortunate, could have taken the wood clean. Just clipped the jack and knocked it off the green. Keeps him alive, though.
Again, he set this mark in place. Just gone a little bit over, still about 25, 28 yards. It'll be stopping to count, it'll go out, this missing the back ball. Lucky bang.
I think this is probably the shortest mark actually that's been played today, and you can see that they've both lost the length on it. It's amazing. It's not a bad bowl though. Kenny has it to beat. Terry just confirming that Rob only has one. He doesn't lie game. Kenny looking, I think, to consider whether or not it's even worth playing through at. I think he'll probably decide just to try and play a length bowl to beat it.
Watch this now coming down. Good swing now, start coming down the hill a bit fast. Round the back. Just gone. I think he tried to play that ball a bit tight on the road. Picks the jack up clean, he makes a double.
Yes, Bucky's reasonably happy, I think, especially Jim Brown there.
Now here's the young man from Holmes Chapel in Cheshire, beaten finalist last year, going for game, 20-10 in front. Armitage has played one. It's not a real good ball, but the winner. And Rob Eaton knows he's got to just get round the short ball. And he's played one here, played one, good ball this, going up to the jack. Reelan will have to get that out, Armitage, somewhere or other.
I don't think there's any doubt what he'll do at this. He's bound to strike or play through at it. It's a big target for him. He'll expect to hit this.
On its way, listen, done it. Both of them.
Now, if the block stops on, Kenny's in. Yes, and it stopped on. Well, he was due to get a good result. So it's Armitage 1. 11-20. And just alive still in this game. But has to find somewhere where he can score 10.
Only about, need 3 overthrows from the boundary to get 10, I think. He's still in the game. Only just, but a couple of twos on the bounce here would certainly do his chances of a big escape act no harm. As Chris MacDonald, who's already through.
Well, this wood coming down the hill won't quite reach, perhaps. Ken making a good lead on a long mark, 50-55 yards. Finger peg. And now then, he's finding some form. Nice to lie in. There's nothing to lose now. The pressure's off him now. He can relax, because basically nobody expects him to win anymore.
He couldn't get a rub off this top ball, but he's dying short, left to doubles, not up to the end. Not bad balls really from Eaton. I mean, in some ends he would have countered, but Armitage found 2 Reelans there. Very, very good balls. He's changed his game now. He's not bothered about this 25, 28 yard round peg mark. I think he's going to go in the country and see if he can pinch a few chalks.
He's not gone deep into the corners. Just a nice easy reach for Kenny. Just play 1 or 2 roundabout now. He can get back in this game. Nice length again. Played a good length. 18 inches short, no more. Now Rob Eaton's ball. This is coming with some pace, you see. Just lost his length marginally with his first ball on this particular mark.
Not short. Not short. Doesn't want to hit the jack too hard. Very fortunate he didn't give the jack a real whack there. He was split the end wide open.
That wood's taken a lot of pressure off Robbie.
Chance of going in the frame. This might be a shake hands job here. Waving it on. Oh, let's give up. Or has it? They're all clapping, but it's a handshake. Yes, he did it.
And so he did. Robert Eaton heading perhaps for his second final in successive years. Now, Robert Eaton, I think, Noel, has never really faltered yet, has he?
No, he's certainly a very cool customer. Showed almost no sign of nerves at all.
Tremendous maturity for his years.
Certainly has, yeah.
Mike Leach, what do you think? Do you think that Robert Eaton can get through to another final?
Well, the more I see him, the more I think he can, yes. He's played really well. Very impressive performance, very calm. Very few woods does he run after. He ran after his last bowl there, though, because he knew that it was just on the point of it might not have reached.
Talking about running, now perhaps the most entertaining match of the day, the most dramatic, maybe the best match of the day, was the last of the morning. Now that involved Vernon Lee, who's a great favourite with the crowd here, and Alan Broadhurst, who is a fancied player. Now Vernon is an entertainer. He likes to play about a little bit on the green, and we can see from the first end the sort of action that Vernon puts into his game. Now Vernon's going to play what? His second wood at this end. Although yes. It's very early in the game, of course.
Yeah, but as soon as he started the match, he's at it already. He likes the ball, he wants to get near it, he's going to dance past it, cross over it, the old dancing step. And I don't think anybody takes offence at that. The crowd think it's hilarious.
But what happened was that it brought him a reprimand from the referee, an admonishment, and from then on his game went off, do you think?
Well, his game certainly went off. I think he earned his own reprimand because instead of dancing past it at one end, at I think 18-10, he tried to stamp one, and he must have known that was going to get him into trouble.
Yes. In fact, although Vernon had a very big lead in that game, when it came into the last two ends, it was 19-all. And let's see what effect that had on the match itself.
Well, Alan has done really well. He's come from 18-8 down here. And the last couple of ends he's made bad leads and he's had to recover with his second bowl. And I think we'll see that the same thing happens here. He's leading full corners and he wants a good lead because he knows if he makes a bad lead and Vernon lies in, Vernon's liable to get game.
Do you think, Noel, that the fact that Vernon was spoken to by the referee, that he was warned for getting too close to the woods, he was warned for treading there, that might have affected his game because he's accustomed to it, surely?
Well, I think it must have upset him a little bit because he believes in going out there not only to enjoy himself, but to entertain the crowd. And when somebody tells him that he mustn't do certain things, I think it just niggles him a little bit. And he did seem to go somewhat quieter.
Can't Vernon play as well if he doesn't do that sort of thing?
I don't think he's as good a player, no. If he can't entertain, that's his enjoyment of the game.
But Mike, you know Vernon very well. I mean, you used to partner him in doubles matches. I mean, does he do that deliberately to entertain, or is it something that he really can't help himself doing?
Well, I think over the past couple of years, he's rather exaggerated it. I think since his Waterloo victory, he's tended to do it more. But there's no question about it. Vernon cannot play the game if he has to walk up and down the land quietly.
What effect does it have on spectators? He's very popular, but do you find that some people don't like it, some people object?
Well, usually the ones who object are the ones who want his opponent to win, whether because they're friends of his opponent or they've backed his opponent. But I think most neutral spectators like to see Vernon giving that sort of entertainment. I don't think they like it when he stamps, but I don't think anybody minds when he dances past the bowls.
And Noel, an opponent's eye view, do you mind if you're playing against Vernon?
It doesn't bother me at all, and I don't think it bothered Alan Broadhurst. In fact, I think he enjoyed the game as much as Vernon. But you've got to hand it to Alan with a bit of controversy, and in 18-8 down, and he's come back and actually won the game.
But surely it's only right that the rules of the game should be applied.
Yeah, well, Vernon, with one or possibly two exceptions, he didn't actually break rules. You're allowed to get within a metre of a running ball.
The players bumped into each other at one stage. There was so much movement on the green.
No, that was a little bit of jolliment on their part. I mean, Alan Broadhurst, he got into the swing of that side of it as well.
Yeah. I suppose in some ways, though, the competition from now on is the poorer for not having Vernon Lee in it, isn't it?
Well, of course, everyone wants to see Vernon performing his tricks on the green, but he'll be the first to admit that Alan did the job on the day.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Vernon Lee, but Alan Broadhurst there. Now, from his point of view, it was, Mike, a stunning recovery he made, wasn't it?
Oh, it was, and a terrific credit to him as a player and as a man that he could recover from that situation with Vernon clowning around, enjoying himself, and Alan playing very much a secondary role. To be able to pull himself up and to win from that position was marvellous. And of course here at the Crunch 2019, he's just made a magnificent lead at full corners to put Vernon for the first time in the match in a position where he was long odds that Vernon was going to lose.
Yeah, I saw Alan at the end of the game, and he seems to be a very cool customer. He doesn't seem to be at all bothered by anything.
Oh, he's a hardened player. He's played top-class bowls now for many years, and he's used to playing in the big time. And it really showed, because he played a lot of bowls under pressure.
Yes, Alan Broadhurst, a player that many of the people here and quite a lot of supporters of Crown Green Bowling think could well win this competition, but we're going to miss Vernon Lee. There he is, the champion in 1980. He knows what it's like to win the Waterloo, and he always likes to put on a bit of a show. And we'll stay with this just to see the conclusion of the match. Vernon Lee so far ahead at one stage in this game. 19 across it was going into the last two ends. And poor Vernon losing 21-19. There are the results from the last 16, that Lee match, 21-19. The games that we saw this afternoon, young Robert Eaton, 21-13 victor over K Armitage. John Bancroft, one of the fancied players, through 21-8, a huge margin against Richard Everitt. And Glyn Cookson, perhaps the favourite now, 21-14 against H Horton.